All right. Welcome to Stock Talk Live here. It's been an eventful week. As usual, the meme stocks are making a comeback again. Something I never thought I'd see again. But hey, not including GameStop. I'm talking, we can get into that. I hope you didn't own AMTD this week because you're out a lot of money.
We said last week it's a scam.
Yeah. You heard it here first, boys and girls. And get into, good old Jay Powell with the CPI numbers and the 0% inflation that you might be not feeling and other stuff. Hit the post. Can you believe Bed Bath & Beyond up, 50% this week? Not even? Or even more now?
Unbelievable. So the squeeze started Monday morning in pre-market.
Yeah.
Weird how it starts before retail can start trading. Thought this was interesting about Monday. I was really into it on Monday. They average around 9 million in volume per day. They did 162 million on Monday.
Yeah, nothing fishy there. Nothing fishy there. Hey, Chris, what's up? No, we were I don't know. I saw that move because it was like at one point I was on the train. It was at 40%. It's crazy. I mean, if the Wall Street bets guys are going to get behind that again, it could get interesting very fast. A lot of those guys still have a lot of money, obviously, from what they made off GME and other things.
So I had something from yesterday, Jim Cramer tweet. Hang on a second.
Yeah. Cramer's been all over the place lately.
There it is. So this is Jim Cramer. Of course, I knew that last night's primer would stir the remaining stragglers who still just care about GME, Bed Bath & Beyond, and AMC. The latter, I actually like. He's talking about AMC. The former has nothing to offer until its deal with Metaverse, and the middle, knock yourself out. Let's take a look at those three charts from yesterday morning, just for fun.
Yeah, why not? Jesus.
I'm trying to zoom in here. So you can see this trench. I can't zoom in too much, but GameStop drops, right?
Yeah.
Here's Bed Bath & Beyond. Same exact drop. And the one he likes, AMC, the inverse. So I thought that was interesting.
Kramer. He's always he hates everything for whatever reason, unless he's recommending it.
Just continuing on Bed Bath & Beyond here, a company that's thought to be Boomer Wells. Hey, how are you?
Definitely.
This is a company that's thought to be a dying brick and mortar. But I mentioned last week that they own Bye Bye Baby, and also mentioned last week that Ryan Cohen has a large stake in Bed Bath & Beyond and wrote a letter to their board and said, look, Bye Bye Baby is a profitable entity with your business. Maybe look to sell it to generate some cash. What could they do if they focused on that? I mean, babies are born every day, every second. So I don't think that's a bad business plan. And certainly it doesn't seem that Ryan Cohen thinks it's a bad business plan. He's got $100 million invested in the company and $150 million in $80 calls. He bought those at $15 a share. Those are expiring January 2023.
Oh, wow.
End of the month of January. So he's betting $150 million that this thing's going to $80, and right now it's sitting around 11, 12. Yeah. And he bought at 15.
Stock's got to move, obviously.
So it's kind of like that fallacy, right? Like if you're at the casino and you're playing craps or roulette or whatever, and someone with a lot of money, a whale, throws down, a lot of money on something, you want to be on the other side of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely do not want to be.
Well,
funny
one
thing
other
is,
thing on Bed Bath & Beyond really quick. Morningstar confirmed that they were 101% short on their float. Previously was 140+% short.
people are starting to get knocked out, having to cover. One thing about Bye Bye Baby, having shot there, just haven't had a kid. It's a great store. You can find everything you want. It's reasonably priced. It's clean. The employees are great, and it definitely there's definitely something to that. It's very profitable. The place is jammed all the time. Go to the one in Braintree over by South Shore Plaza, which is not so jammed all the time. Well, you know,
The ticker's actually BBBY is
Yeah.
Bed Bath & Beyond.
And then so what's GME should? I was surprised GME ran a little bit this week, but it didn't run as much as I thought it would.
I have plenty of notes on GameStop. So I just mentioned Bed Bath & Beyond 101% short float
Yeah.
confirmed by Morningstar. I've seen reports that GameStop was 226+% short.
I'm not surprised.
Where do we begin? So I saw on Monday, and this is still true today, GameStop was green on the 1 week,
Yep.
the 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, year to date, and 1 year timelines. Not a lot of stocks are doing that right now. I found a list of tickers and their returns so far. GameStop up 17%.
Oh wow.
Twitter down, Apple down, Microsoft down, Amazon down, Tesla's down, Google's down. I mean, Moderna's down, AMD,
Earnings,
Nvidia, Spotify, Etsy, Meta's down, Netflix, Shopify, Snapchat. Snapchat's trash, but
Oh, it is.
just
That stock got
interesting that we keep seeing. Everybody says forget GameStop, but investors like myself, we're the ones that are laughing. I'm in the green, baby.
No, exactly. No, I mean, I think,
and mind you, these results, this being green on all those charts, this is amidst a massive smear campaign that I just showed you. Forget GameStop. And let me pull up. Talk for a second while I pull this up.
yeah, I mean, I will admit a lot of people are. I think a lot of the sentiment against GameStop is obviously because people have made a lot of money. Obviously, jealousy comes into place. The other thing too is everybody wants to take something down. I mean, as soon as you rise, everyone's looking to take you down. The other thing is that a lot of the GameStop, and was it the Hello Kitty crew? I believe they got a lot of publicity. I think there's correct me if I'm wrong with the post, but isn't there a movie? It's called Rise of the Players or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it
Yeah.
actually.
There's actually a kid from my town who's in it. He doesn't live in where I live anymore, but he's he invested in it. I don't know. He was a good dude, but he was out in out west, and I think a lot of the other thing too about the GameStop phenomenon is that I think a lot of those Wall Street bets guys, they're all very like interconnected, and in the Reddit chats. I mean, they could be planning their next big move for all we know.
They're more, Wall Street Bets is more concerned on like short-term gains, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're long-term holders like myself.
Mm.
If you're looking for a Reddit community to learn more about GameStop, I would recommend Super Stonk. STONK, Super Stonk. I get most of my information from there. It's just an incredible database. There's people way smarter than me that are doing research every day, and it's crazy. And what's interesting is Super Stonk never, that community, over 100,000 people, I've never seen it mentioned in mainstream media.
Really?
So speaking of doing research, and I had mentioned a massive smear campaign, let's check out, this is from the SEC's official YouTube page, verified page. This is an ad that they put out, and let's just take a look at this. So right off the bat, Investomania, this is a game show.
Welcome back, Fred.
Stop. Hang on. Let's look at our contestant really quick. Look at disheveled. He's already negative, right? And she's all happy. And just, I thought the juxtaposition of the host and how he's all done up, I thought he kind of represented like a hedge fund manager in my head. So let's keep watching.
Fred, it's your investment.
I'll take meme stocks. Invest.
Stop. Let's go back a second. He picked meme stocks, and then he lost all of his money. So that's what they're implying, is if you invest in meme stocks, you're going to lose all of your money. You can only lose all of your money that you invested if you bet on options and your option doesn't hit, then you're on the hook for whatever you invested. The only other way that if you invest in a meme stock, if you're going to lose all your money, is if they go out of business. Let me tell you something, Robbie V, and I DM'd you about this before.
Yeah.
GameStop's not going out of business.
No,
they have $0 in debt, and they have $1 billion in cash on hand. They're not going out of business. They just opened up their NFT marketplace. Do you think a company with no debt and $1 billion in cash that just opened up a new revenue stream is going out of business? I don't think so. Let's watch the rest of this commercial.
Ouch. Your investment, Julie.
I'm going to do some research first.
Stop.
Well,
how smug is that? I'm going to do some research first. What, I'm talking about, a meme stock, but I've done more research than, a lot of people, I think. And I've got facts to back it up. I mean, we're going to get to a lot more, but let's keep watching. Just the smugness of that. I'm going to do some research.
play, Julie.
Well played. You can do research. Investing is not a game. Always do your research before making an investment decision. Learn more at investor.gov. Before you invest, investor.gov.
So I'd argue that that's another smear campaign.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they paid good money for that. That's a professionally done commercial.
Yeah.
They have a set. They had to build the set. They had to get actors.
Yeah, they weren't that good.
And I think I think my points are totally valid. Portraying this guy as this disheveled dude who doesn't know that you can do research on stocks. He just blindly picks a meme stock and he loses all his money. That's not realistic.
No, it's not.
So let's get into some technical stuff on GameStop. Where do you want to start? Found this. This was a tweet from an Immutable X employee. So Immutable X is GameStop's partner with their NFT marketplace. And what they're doing is they're bringing NFT games to the marketplace. And what's exciting about that is they previously had like 5 titles, and his team has said in the next year they're going to roll out 100 plus.
Yeah.
Exciting. And so this tweet from Robbie at Immutable I thought was interesting. He says, gaming is bigger than music, movies, and TV combined. It's compounding 10% year on year. The $100 billion a year spent renting items is going to turn into $1 trillion ownable economy. All of it will be built on Web3. So let's see this graph here. In billions since 2001, just ramps up for video games.
Oh, absolutely.
And music and films is not keeping pace. And so what he's talking about with renting items. So here's a good example. I have Rocket League on my PlayStation, right? Mm-hmm. And they came out with it's a game, you're a car and you play soccer basically with your car. And I wanted the skin I wanted my car to be the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Because it's awesome. And it cost me $1.99. But really, do I own that? Or is that Epic Games and I'm just borrowing it? Like, I can't do anything with it. I just get to play with it. So what he's talking about, renting items is going to turn into $1 trillion ownable economy. These NFT games, you're going to earn items in the games. And then, let's say I earned that Batmobile skin for my car. If I don't want it anymore, or the value goes way up and it's worth it for me to sell it, I could sell it to somebody else. And I think that's really interesting. And, GameStop's slogan is power to the players. So I thought that was cool. Let's look at some technical analysis on GameStop. So there's this technical analysis term called a golden cross. A chart pattern used in technical analysis in which the short-term moving average rises above the long-term moving average. So people are on the lookout for a golden cross again with GameStop. With this graph, I'm going to show you the blue line is the 50-day moving average. The yellow line is the 200-day moving average. So blue is the short term and yellow is the long term. The last golden cross was back here. This was last August. And now we're looking at it to happen again.
Yeah,
and hopefully another run up.
No, the golden cross is one of the most bullish figures that can happen in the market. Bullish indicators, excuse me. Doesn't happen often, to say the least.
Right. And so again, I'm not an expert here. I'm learning as I go. I've been researching this stock almost every day for about 2 years now. So what I see a lot of guys doing when they do their analysis is they'll draw a line on the bottom here, a trend line connecting all these bottom points, and then we'll draw a line down, at a trended line down from the peaks, and we can see over time that the lows are getting higher and the highs are getting lower. And so that kind of plays into what's called critical margin theory. And I have this guy, Cosmic Lightning Warrior. He talks about GameStop a couple times a week. Here's him to break it down.
So why did that happen? Like what was going on? Why did that happen? Like why did it not happen in this range right here? Well, to me, you can see this red line, dude. It keeps going down, right? This is what the critical margin theory says, that over time, the price at which their world implodes basically goes down over time because they have been borrowing more and more and more. There are more shares out there that are synthetic, that are not real. And by the way, as we DRS, their problem of liquidity, even though they think they have infinite liquidity, gets a lot worse because liquidity is only liquidity. Something can only be wet so long before it dries up. You ever have sex? Think about that.
That's definitely one way to put it.
Oh, that was funny. So what he's talking about, their world implodes. He's talking about people who are short on GameStop that are betting against it. And what he meant by DRS is directly registered shares. I've been preaching that. This whole debacle with the dividend shares being distributed, it still hasn't really been resolved, which is rather alarming. So there's GameStop was supposed to issue shares, right? And by them issuing those shares, for every one, you get 3 more. And it seems that some brokers were not given share. Like, what do you do when this stock is shorted so much? There's not enough to go around. And it seems that certain brokers internationally were instructed to do a standard 4-to-1 split. And that's just wrong because you can't do both at the same time.
No, you can't.
It's dilution. I don't know. So there's a whole lot of investigations going on. We saw Robinhood. U.S. judge says Robinhood must face market manipulation claims over trading restrictions during the 2021 meme stock rally. If you don't remember what happened then, Robinhood, among other brokers, turned off the buy button at that peak right here. They turned off the buy button, so now it's all sell pressure, and that's why it went from $330 down to $40.
No, I remember
so
that.
they're gonna face they're gonna be on the hook for that. Saw another one, Melvin Capital, another GameStop short seller. They're being investigated by the SEC for misleading investors. They famously lost 50% in January 2021 during that run up.
Oh no, they're actually, one of their hedge funds is actually under investigate. I mean, hedge funds is under investigation and losing a ton of money too. It's not good. It's not good at all, unfortunately. Do you want to switch gears a little bit? Or
I just had one other thing regarding short sellers. This is a clip from 3 years ago, but I thought it was really funny. This is a capital manager, and he's upset with short sellers, and he says they're an embarrassment to their parents.
In one of the strangest earnings calls Wall Street has ever heard, the CEO of Cleveland Cliffs, Lorenzo Goncalves, went on a rant against analysts and short sellers.
You are a disaster. You are an embarrassment to your parents. With this being said, we are going to use money to reward the long-term shareholders. So if the stock continues to go down based on these kids that play with computers and somebody else's money, we are going to buy back stock. We are going to screw these guys so badly that I don't believe that they will be able to.
And unfortunately, it cuts off. I don't know what he believes they're going to be able to do.
No, he's he reminds me of Dick Fold back in 2008 when he said he wanted to, like, it was on the Lehman Brothers internal video. He said he wanted to, like, squeeze the short sellers, squeeze them good. Then he says he didn't want to hurt him, but you know. And then Lehman went under. I think it was like 6 months later. So good times. But no, I mean, it is going to be an interesting situation to see what unfolds with GameStop. You know, it's another interesting thing is, you know, the CPI came out and it came in a little bit under expectations. I think it came out at 8.3, and you know, what seems to be the case in 2020, was it 22? Good times. Now we have no inflation according to Joe Biden, so that was very interesting. I mean, having gone to the supermarket, I can definitely confirm that there was inflation going on. So I don't really understand where the hell that came from. You probably wonder, considering we talk about it so much, is why did the market, the market went up, and we've been saying the market should be going down. The market went up because basically the rate hike odds in September, they plummeted from 75% to 70 for 0.75 basis points. I think it's now like 35 for 0.75. I think it's actually going to come in now at 0.50, but I'm going to stick to my prediction of 0.75 because I got to be a man of my word. I went all in like Jim Fossil. You got to do what you got to do sometimes. Even if the egg's on my face in September, well, 4-pack or 6-pack or, 8-pack of high noons, One of the big things that's coming out now too with the economy is you're starting to see a lot more deep discounts for like random things. Just this morning, and this happened like the last 2 recessions that we had. Credit cards are now suspending their interest payments for a certain amount a month. I have a JetBlue card. All interest on my new purchases when I activate the rate are going to be 0% interest till I think it's May of next year, which, especially before Christmas, is crazy. I mean, that's basically, the economy's bread and butter is, people rack up their credit cards for Christmas, and then, the credit card companies make a ton of money on interest. I was really surprised by that. If we were in a strong economy, they would not need to do that. What do you think of Jay Powell hit the post? What do you think he's thinking right now?
He's kind of screwed. I agree with your 75 prediction. Other people have said that he might come out and do like an emergency 75 before the end of the month.
I think he should. I mean, 8.5% is a ton. And not only that,
all my friends are downplaying it. They're like, well, it's down from 9.1.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
I'm like, what were you saying in March when it was 8.5? Like, oh, this is bad.
All right, you really want to know that? Like,
and by the way, this 8.5 is up from last July. It was 5.4. So you're really, and again, we mentioned it before. If you're, what does 8.5% July inflation mean to you? If you're not getting an 8.5% raise at your job, you're losing money because things are costing 8.5% more, and you're not getting paid 8.5% more.
That's the one thing I don't like get. Like, a lot of people keep talking. They're like, oh, well, we're already looking towards when they cut rates for the recession. It's like, you can't do that. Like, you really can't. I mean, you have to
that's the other thing is inflation numbers come out and the market's green, all sectors, and
I know
everybody says, well, it's priced in. Well, that's priced in.
No, it's not priced in. There's no fucking way that's priced in. No effing way. I mean, if you went on the Dow Jones Industrial Average right now, everyone believes in Goldilocks and Goldilocks scenario or whatever. I mean, people need to wake up. Like, honestly, I know he's not here, but I mean, Bodo Jam says this all the time. I mean, and he's right. Where in September, people are going to start looking at those bills. They're not going to have the money, especially when their home heating oil bill comes. I still think Jay Powell probably raises 0.75. There's data to support it. If anything, he's going to look at the jobs data and think, well, I still have room to run to crush inflation on this. Then that's probably what he's going to do. That's what I want him to do. I mean, who doesn't need a higher savings rate at this point, the one thing I wanted to bring up is we talk about energy a lot on this show. And, and we also talk about, how the cost is going up. So here's some real figures. So right now in the winter, according to government officials over there, it could potentially cost the average home in the UK, in Great Britain, 1,400 euros to heat your home for a month, which is crazy.
That's outrageous.
Which is electricity. I mean, that's what we're talking. Germany today, I think it was 680 euros or $680 or euros a megawatt. I retweeted that today. France is hitting all-time highs for power consumption, for power prices. I mean, look, we're not even in freaking the throes of winter of December or January and February. I mean, if you don't believe that Europe is going to be in a major recession like us in probably a couple months, you kind of need to get your head checked a little bit because the cost of electricity over there is going to be a huge issue. I mean, people's savings are going to be wiped out potentially, and it's the same with Germany and whatnot. And we talked about Sri Lanka on the show a lot, with the riots and stuff. But I have to admit, I would probably be rioting too if my, the cost of electricity was going to go up almost 300%. These are real issues that are around the world. I realize it's not, campfires and s'mores, but enjoy. You should know about, people. These are real issues, and they're definitely going to affect economic growth in the future. Did you see Chris Mathune's comment? Post is making commission on all GameStop sales sold by Monday. Hey, that's a good.
It's not true.
I mean, hey, that's one way to fund the new network.
We don't need that rumor out there. I disavow.
Disavow? No. What was that?
Looking at some other notes, Robbie. I'm in a Discord with some of my friends from real life, and I made them make a stock channel so I don't clog up everything. So just looking back at some of the stuff I posted this week. BlackRock CEO sold 8% of his stock last week. The last time he had a stock sale that large was right before the March 2020 crash.
Really? That's interesting. I mean, does BlackRock, well, hopefully that doesn't happen again for a lot of people, I mean, it's an ominous sign though,
I'm just scrolling through from this week. I got Webull, Schwab, Robinhood, Vanguard, and Questrade all have not confirmed that the GameStop split-dividend. I call it a split-dividend. It's kind of funny. Split dividend. They all confirmed that it was have not confirmed that it was handled correctly.
Really? Schwab, I'm surprised.
And so the way I explained it to my friends was this, and this is something kind of tinfoil hatty about game. I don't mean to bring it back to GameStop. I'm just going through my notes from the week. The number 741 is a tinfoil number in the GameStop investor community. And I think it goes back to when Volkswagen had their famous squeeze. Porsche locked up 74.1% of the float, and people have been they got their magnifying glass out and they're looking for clues and stuff. Ryan Cohen tweets at 7:41 p.m. or something like that. So just something that the way that I explained how this the problem with this share dividend to my friends was this. So I said, say Randy has one share of GameStop and Robinhood before the split. It gets split to 4 because they didn't receive dividend shares. So they were told to split the shares on their own. So that share gets split into 4. He sells all 4 to Frank, who has a Fidelity account. I used R and R and FNF. The problem is Robinhood split the shares on their own and they didn't get the dividend shares. So when Robinhood asks the DTCC for the 3 shares that should have been given to them for the dividend, now there's 7 shares floating out there for every 1 share that originally existed, 741. Just something interesting. It's kind of like you have a pizza and it gets cut into 4 instead of you getting 3 extra pizzas.
Oh yeah, no. It's a big thing, because the thing is like, financial services, you have to have trust. Like that's what makes people invest. And that
let me find that Gary Gensler tweet. Hang on.
Oh, no, I mean, seriously though, like, trust in the market has not always been there. I mean, like a lot of people lost their shirt in the crash of 87. A lot of people lost their shirt in the crash of 2008. Look at, with Lehman Brothers, with Bear Stearns, with AIG, and it's taken a while for people to really get back in the trust and trust in the market since 2008. And when you have this BS with Robinhood, canceling the buy button, that evaporates that trust.
It wasn't even that they turned off the buy button. They made it so you couldn't even search for the stock. Like it was a whole basket of meme stocks. And what's funny is BlackBerry was included in that, and Bed Bath & Beyond was included in that because the tickers are so similar. It's like BB versus BBBY.
No, I know. I mean,
and you couldn't even search for them on the app. It didn't return any results. You couldn't even look at the chart. You had to go somewhere else to see what it was trading at.
No, I know. And that was like ridiculous. I mean, you have people who you can't it's all, one of the biggest things in financial services is about trust. And once you lose it, it's so hard to get back. I mean, look at Wells Fargo right now. They're spending God knows how much in PR to freaking, repair their image. And to get back to something, earlier, I'll tell you, you're starting to see not only stores offering deep discounts, but you're starting to see bargains on freaking certain items that are going to expire. People are just trying to unload inventory right now, and I honestly don't think, oil started getting moving this week. I think it was up $3 overall from like 90. I think it settled at like 94. I apologize for not having the numbers on the top of my head, but I don't know how long gas prices unfortunately are going to hang around for this. Hang around. Yeah, it's at 94 right now. Just so everyone knows, gas is 306 it's trading at 306 on the exchange. So gas technically should drop to about 380 because you factor in 70-80 cents for state and local taxes. Obviously more if you're in California where they tax you for how many times you fart. But and it'll be less in Mass and other states on our viewers, because I think it's about 60 cents. So gas should be 360, 370, but I don't know how long it's going to stay there. The International Energy Agency actually hiked up their output production for 2023, and that's what's causing the market to rally.
I found that tweet. So you were talking about trust. Here's Gary Gensler on trust. He says, we have rules in our capital markets to safeguard market integrity and protect against fraud and manipulation. If a company builds a crypto market that protects investors and meets the standard of our market regulations, people will likely have greater confidence in that market.
No, it's truth. I mean,
and to me, that sounds like GameStop turning their NFT marketplace into a place where you can also trade NFTs that are stocks.
Yeah.
And it being on the blockchain gives 100% transparency. And there's obviously going to be a lot of pushback from the system because you're taking away the manipulation techniques that these hedge funds use. I had to explain dark pools to my friends yesterday, where firms will just internalize orders, and contrary to popular belief, when you're buying stocks, you and I, it's probably not affecting the ticker. It's probably not even going to a lit exchange.
No, unfortunately not.
And I can't remember his name, but there's a guy, he works for IEX, and they were complaining about how like their feed to the stock exchange is like millisecond slower than the big boys, and they can't compete like that unless people manually route their orders to IEX.
No, it's the truth. I mean, high frequency trading has taken over. It's taken over Wall Street. I mean, people are making hundreds of trades every day, and they're not, and they're only making pennies on the dollar, but it racks up,
And just the market manipulation, everything. And it goes back to that Investomania from the SEC, the game show. I'm going to do some research. Once you start doing some research and you look at this stuff every day, it's like, this doesn't make sense.
The SEC has done a poor job regulating some of the things that have happened over the past 15 years. Like the fact that we really don't know what happened to MF Global's money back in 2000 and whenever that happened. I don't remember off the top of my head. But, when MF Global hit the collateral shortage and, assets started getting seized and all that stuff, and no one could get the paper trail. And that guy's still walking free too. I think it's Corzine. Yeah, I mean, SEC needs to do a little bit more due diligence on, regulation and, put some of these guys behind bars. But
and talking regulation, so I mentioned directly registering your shares, right? I found I'm still scrolling through this chat for my notes and everything.
Yeah.
A 2003 SEC order regarding the DTC. What they're saying here, I'm going to pull it up, is if you don't trust how they're handling things, like how this dividend was distributed for GameStop, call your broker and directly register your shares in your name, and you can pull them off of DTC's books. And I've mentioned that with my GameStop. I don't want to give out anything. DRS advice.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
And I actually directly registered some more shares, and I thought it was interesting that when they sent me my statement, I got to change that so it's all online. When they sent me my statement, the shares that I directly registered, it actually says DTC withdrawal. So they are out of their hands. They're slimy, grubby hands. And this is an excerpt from the DTC's or the SEC's order back in 2003. Hard to read, but it says DTC disagreed with the commenter's contention that it had an obligation to take action to resolve the issues associated with naked short selling. That's selling more than 100% of a stock. So like Bed Bath & Beyond, 101% short float confirmed by Morningstar. That's naked shorted.
Yeah.
Because those issues arise in the context of trading and not in the book entry transfer of securities. DTC pointed out that if beneficial owners believe that their interests are best protected by not having their shares subject to book entry transfer at DTC, then they can instruct their broker dealer to execute a withdrawal by transfer. That's exactly what I said. When I directly registered my shares, it says with DTC withdrawal, which will remove the securities, right, from DTC and transfer them to the shareholder in certificated form. And I mentioned last week, we don't use paper stock certificates anymore, but It's all online, and those shares are in my name.
Yeah.
And the difference being that when it's held in your broker, it's technically kind of like this renting items in video games. The broker really owns those shares, and they can sell them. If you got fees on your account, they can sell a share out of your account to facilitate that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
They're not hopefully they would call you and say, hey, can you drop $50 in here so we don't have to sell this $300 share of whatever.
Yeah. But I know. I mean, some of the stuff behind the scenes isn't the best, to say the least. But I will say this though, I know a lot of people out there are probably wondering, hey, the jobs report was great, about the American economy, and what does that mean? Is this going to continue? Yeah, I just want to say, like, unemployment's basically a lagging indicator of the economy in itself. It's literally the last thing to, go bearish on the economy. And jobless claims, again, were up today. They were at like a multi-month high. It's a lot of. I don't think it's really getting any better. I think if anything, it's going to probably get worse going into the third and the fourth quarter, which is going to benefit GameStop, because people are going to have to play video games, because they can't really afford to do much else. That was a joke. I mean, you are seeing though, company wide though, which companies like, especially in the tech sector, they're starting to have massive layoffs. I mean, it seems like every day, people are getting laid off in the tech sector every day, and that's unfortunate. Obviously, I wish no one to go through a layoff. I went through one in 2017, which was not the best time. I mean, they told me, it wasn't the best time. I'll just leave it at that. But I landed on my feet, so it can't be done, folks. Let me tell you.
Yeah, Coinbase had their earnings this week, and they announced I don't know layoffs, but they're definitely on a hiring freeze.
Who is sorry? I missed that.
Coinbase.
Yeah, they announced layoffs. I forget. I think it was Cisco, Oracle. I mean, they were walking up people out the door. Those other companies as well. I mean, it's just. Fortunately, hopefully, it's just the start and the finish. But and the finish line is coming soon. But I mean, who really knows? I think United States probably is going to hit the recession obviously faster than Europe. I think Europe's going to get freaking killed in the winter, unfortunately.
What was it? Great Britain said that they're going to have energy cuts or something like that.
Yeah. So, another reason, like, everyone says, oh, well, hey, Ravi, you're talking ridiculousness. Basically, Great Britain said by January that they're actually going to have power rationing. So, like, that's obviously going to affect your, the way you heat your house, like your, industries and stuff like that. Obviously, Germany is already doing that. Germany's worst case scenario, I mean, there's factories and whatnot that are talking about shutting down during the winter months so they conserve natural gas. Nord Stream 2 is still running at 20%. There's a lot to pay attention to. I'm not saying you should go sit in front of Fox News or Zero Hedge or NBC or MSNBC and get all bent out of shape about it. Live your life, but just kind of be aware. Things are not. There's a lot going on domestically and internationally. I mean, a lot of people were not to get the tinfoil hat crazy train going, but I mean, a lot of people were questioning the timing of the Trump raid. A lot of bad stuff was going on.
You have to wonder if it's a distraction.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff was going on internationally and domestically. I mean, I think it was in Argentina. They almost freaking rolled the economic minister's car, which is always a great time. And in Bangladesh, I mean, they're rioting. I mean, there's just a lot of, in general, unrest right now. I mean, even though, Ukraine is finally able to, export grain, I don't think that's going to do much for the, the food inflation, at least for now. It's a lot of things are fluid, it's crazy. One thing that we always talk about, at least I've always talked about, is, real-time data. My boss at work is leaving, so we went out to dinner at Del Frisco's, I mean, went out to lunch at Del Frisco's, and we were on one of 5 tables in the joint at 12:30 in Boston, the Seaport District, that were occupied. I mean, that's not. Usually that place is a hell of a lot more jammed than that. I just, there's something going on.
We talked about, limiting hours and not being open on certain days, stuff like that. Seen it all over.
Yeah, I mean, something new to the point, honestly. Like, if you really want to, like, start, looking a little bit beyond. I mean, I don't think that with all the people who are, not working right now and who are sitting on the sidelines, I think this could be a first recession where you see jobs actually go up because there's so many people on the sidelines who are going to have to work. And kudos to them if they did, like, they save their money, and if they're living on it and doing what they want to do right now, that's great. But we could see like job gains throughout a recession, even though economic activity is declining, because people are just getting off the sidelines and trying to make a buck. Which isn't a bad thing, but it's definitely. I mean, it's definitely interesting times right now. If people want to make some comments, they can make some comments out there. We appreciate it.
Yeah. So about that, with jobs pumping for the recession, there was a tweet yesterday from chairman of the board from GameStop, Ryan Cohen. I try to bring it back to GameStop because I there's so much to talk about. But he tweeted last night, if we print a few trillion more, it should bring inflation down. Hashtag tax the rich, hashtag wealth tax. And the tinfoil hat kind of speculation on this is he's saying, if we print a few trillion more shares, it should bring inflation down, meaning GameStop holders get paid, hashtag tax the rich. This thing goes to the moon and we all pay our taxes. And, you kind of you pop the bubble and you kind of save the economy because all those people are going to pay taxes on their gains. Interesting.
I know.
And I saw, he tweeted another thing after that last night. He tweeted a Purple Heart. What's interesting about the Purple Heart is, number one, there's my guy Walrus Farts first in the replies. What's interesting about the Purple Heart is heart emojis. There's like more than 10 different colors that you can pick. You can pick black, red, green, yellow. He chose purple, and what's interesting about that, some speculation, maybe something's going down around Veterans Day, 3 months. But the more popular theory is that he loves when people are directly registering their shares, because GameStop's transfer agent Computershare, when you directly register your shares, it's represented in your account by a purple circle. So just you don't want to get tinfoily? I'm here for the tinfoil, man.
No, it's
the 741, decoding his cryptic tweets. I'm here for it.
There's a lot of stuff going on. You just wonder, and it doesn't have to even have to be like domestically. It doesn't even have to be internationally. You just, some of the data that's coming out of you're just wondering what's really happening here. Because I don't know. I mean, like the CPI report. I mean, like bleeping Christ, you go to the freaking grocery store. I mean, eggs are like $5 a dozen or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
I'm a big canned tuna guy. They used to be, I think, $9.99 for an 8-pack of albacore tuna. It's like $12 now. Yeah, no, I mean,
the other thing too is like when we talk about this, and I get it. It's like, well, maybe your viewers out there like, Rob, if you hit the post, like, what do you suggest we do? Just be aware.
Save your money.
Yeah, save your money. I mean, don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm speaking.
Buy a share of GameStop.
Yeah.
$40.
Yeah, don't play the freaking Robbie V 2-spot $20 Keno bonus plan, because that's not going to get you anywhere in life. Trust me. A lot of good people on the Ocean Kai and hang up, shout out to the Kai, have done that plan, and Robbie V's been sitting there with a freaking Yingling next to him, and that didn't work out for them. It worked out fine for me because Yingling's a $3.75, and my Uber was like $15 back in the day, so I didn't really care. But I cared the next day. But what are you gonna do?
We're gonna combat the recession with Royals under 5 tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Team total under 5 for the Royals tonight.
What's the score of that game, by the way?
I don't even know. I saw somebody tweeted or put out a Reddit post. They said the pitcher against him has like one run, never given up one run, more than one run in his last 10 starts or something.
I know. I mean, but that's like another thing, right? It's like with football season and whatnot, people like, I mean, when's it like for DraftKings and FanDuel? I mean, when are their football bonuses going to be higher this year? Because not too many people have much money to gamble. I mean, that's a real thing.
Ladies and gentlemen watching out there, coming to this network in less than 4 weeks is Profit Picks at 6. I'm going to save your bankroll, and we're going to make a killing again on the NFL.
Oh, absolutely. I have a live news when big events happen. Rob V is going to be out there for big weather events, and hopefully me and Hit the Post when big stock market events. Hopefully it's to the upside. I don't want to be doing freaking, I don't want to be doing a special report when the market's down 10%.
Royals scored exactly 5, so that was a push.
Oh, that was a fun.
Get your money back.
Yeah, those pesky Royals. What are you gonna do? No,
I had 2 other things here.
Yeah, go ahead.
And this isn't directly related to GameStop. Here's somebody compared the average percent difference between the daily high and the closing price for, they were looking at GameStop first and foremost, but a number of other tickers that are popular, Popcorn being AMC in the Super Stonk subreddit. AMC is banned because it's strictly focused on GameStop. So they call it Popcorn, or my favorite is Sticky Floor.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the average percent difference between daily high and closing price. GameStop topping the list at 6.97%. Popcorn up there. AMC. Revlon is also a highly shorted company, 4.87. Bed Bath & Beyond, Robinhood, Moderna, Shopify, Tesla, Nvidia, Netflix, Facebook, Amazon, and Bank of America. The 2 that got cut off, I couldn't fit them all in the screenshot, was Apple and Microsoft were 1.1 and 1.0 respectively, I think. So just interesting that the highly shorted companies have a much higher high and a lower low, or they close at a lower low than some of these other ones. I thought Tesla would be higher, but thought that was just an interesting one. And then this other one I have, this is an old study from the New York Times. Outside of trading hours, the market since 93 is up almost 600%, and during regular trading hours is flat. So that goes back to what we started off the show talking about, was Bed Bath & Beyond began their run up in pre-market before retail could start trading. What's going on?
I know.
And what did I mention? I think it was 2 weeks ago. You said, "Oh, GameStop took a dive today." I said, "Yeah, after hours." There goes retail selling again after hours.
No, I know.
Which was facetious.
Retail is like, I mean, after hours is kind of the Wild West, honestly. I mean, you never want
to. Being a long-term GameStop holder, I actually, hey, how are you, Pat?
Hey, Pat, how's it going?
Being a long-term GameStop holder, I actually do like after hours because going back to this January run-up.
Oh, yeah.
When the stock would run after hours, that meant for GameStop holders was there weren't any halts.
Yeah.
And we saw that with GameStop. We saw that with Bed Bath & Beyond on Monday with that massive run-up. Is the market, people might not know this for our listeners, the market has safeguards in it to, and maybe I can pull this next time, the market has safeguards in it so that if a stock is jumping too high or it's falling too fast, there are circuit breakers that will say, okay, let's take a 5-minute breather. Everybody relax.
All right.
Think about March 2020. I remember watching, I was home on furlough. I was watching like Barstool, like stool scenes or something. And they're like, the market's crashing. What? It halted. It's like, yeah, we just need to, everybody stop panic selling for 15 minutes and let's just take a breather. So after hours, there's no halts in after hours. So we liked it. It could run up as much as it wanted.
I always remember the day that oil went down to -40.
Right. I remember talking to my coworkers. I'm like, how can we like it's not like feasible, but like, how can we buy this? Like, do you have a garage?
My phone was literally ringing off the hook. I actually knew someone who worked for one of the worked for an oil company or oil related. He was just like, "What is going on, Robbie V?" I was just like, "I don't know, man. Like, it's COVID. Things are happening. It was just the Wild West." One more thing on what the overseas energy, that is something to watch. Final thought on that. Oil was actually getting shipped through Ukraine and or from Ukraine and it was disrupted, and that's another factor that's causing the oil to run up. I think it's at 94 now. If we actually saw something, God forbid, pop off in the Middle East, if Russia, someone targeted some Russia oil shipping and depot, I mean, you could be talking a major price spike, and especially ahead of the winter. Like, that's not good. That's not good at all. And if you're if you live in the Northeast and you have natural gas, you should probably just keep an eye to what's going on, because if we get into a situation where we're shipping over like liquefied natural gas, by a ton, Europe obviously is going to pay through the nose, but our natural gas prices will go up a little bit too. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's just something, obviously something to, could develop and whatnot. All these situations we talk about are very fluid. It's not like we're talking about like 6-9 months. I mean, hopefully we're not, but for all we know, me and Hit the Post might be on after a 7% market drop one night. To let you guys know what's going on, what happened. I mean, do I want that to happen? No. I want everyone to, just make their money and their 401ks and pensions do great.
We're all going to make it.
We're all going to make it, and we're here for you. I mean, if the market goes down 7%, I can't like honestly tell you I'll be sober during the broadcast, but we'll make it through. We'll even might let you guys pick the beverage I have that evening. Thanks to the Drizzly app. What are you going to do?
As we approach an hour here, Robbie, I just got 2 other quick things that I gotta get out. I actually had like good notes this week because Monday was just so exciting. Two quick things. So I already brought up that Robbie from Immutable talking about how gaming is a exponential growth, 10% year over year. 2 exciting bullish indicators for GameStop, I think. GameStop NFT, welcome to World Wide Web. Web3 is coming soon because Immutable is now integrated, with GameStop's wallet. So you can buy, I think there's maybe 5 games or so out there. But that's one thing. And then the other bullish indicator, and keeping on topic with the GameStop marketplace, is there was a test on Ethereum networks, testnets called Gorley, named for a train station in Berlin, simulated a process identical to what the main network or mainnet will execute next month in September. Testnets allow developers to try out new things and make necessary tweaks before the updates roll out across the main blockchain. Wednesday night's exercise showed that the proof of stake validation process substantially reduces the energy necessary for verifying a block of transactions, and also proved that the merger process works. Why is that bullish for GameStop? I mean, it's a lot of words in there. I don't really know what a whole lot of that is. I'm not a big crypto guy. All I know is GameStop's NFT marketplace is built on Ethereum, and if good things are happening for Ethereum, I think that bodes well for the marketplace as well.
No, absolutely. All right. Well, we've hit 9 o'clock.
We're at an hour.
Right an hour.
I'm gonna work on a new intro. I swiped that one from somebody before we went on. I'll work on a new intro for next time and an outro as well.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, we appreciate all the viewers. We'll see you next week, and definitely hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. It's all we can ask, and this is Robbie V and Hit the Post. Signing off.
Signing off. See you next week.